In the world of boxing, nothing stirs up more excitement than a rivalry that gets personal. And for Gervonta, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach, their upcoming rematch is exactly that, personal. The tension between these two fighters has been building for some time, and the stakes for their next encounter couldn't be higher. This is no longer just about a fight. It's about pride, redemption, and proving something to themselves and their fans. Their last meeting left plenty of unresolved issues, and both men are more determined than ever to leave no doubt this time. In their most recent press conference, Tank sat down to face his opponent, Roach, and immediately set the tone by answering a question from the interviewer about what he promised his fans for the upcoming rematch. "This is personal," Tank said, his voice full of intensity and resolve. "The first fight was cool, but this time, it's personal. I've got to prove myself to these people." It was clear from the outset that Tank wasn't taking this fight lightly. For him, this wasn't just another opportunity to defend his title. It was a chance to prove he's the best and to show the world what he's truly capable of. As Tank spoke, Lamont Roach sat across from him, and the rivalry between the two fighters became even more apparent. Roach wasn't just there to answer questions, he was there to set the record straight. When the interviewer turned to Roach to get his take on the fight, he responded with just as much conviction. "This is about revenge," Roach said, his eyes locked on Tank. "I've been cheated before, and this time I'm going to show everyone that I'm the better fighter." Roach's words were heavy with emotion. It wasn't just about the previous fight. It was about the bigger picture. "When I walked back to the locker room after the first fight, the first thing I said was, 'Sorry I let you down,'" Roach continued, referring to his team. "But they told me, 'You didn't let us down. We lost as a team, and we're going to come back stronger.'" Roach's determination to redeem himself was evident in his every word. He wasn't just coming back for a rematch. He was coming back to prove that he could beat Tank, that he had what it took to take the crown. Tank, however, wasn't one to let Roach's claims go unchallenged. "I let you have the first fight," he said, cutting Roach off. "You did nothing. It was my fault. But don't worry, this time I'm going to shut you up for life. You'll never get to talk about me again. I'm fighting for my future, for my family, for the people who believe in me. It's bigger than just me now." Tank's words were powerful and filled with intensity. It was clear that this fight was about more than just the title. It was about pride, legacy, and proving to the world that he was the best lightweight in the game. "I wasn't focused last time," Tank admitted, his voice steady but full of confidence. "But this time, I'm locked in. I'm ready to show everyone who I really am." Tank was ready to prove that he was more than just a fighter. He was a champion, and he had every intention of leaving the ring with that belt still around his waist. Roach wasn't backing down, though. "They thought the first fight was bad," he said, his voice calm but determined. "Well, this time, we're coming to finish the job. They can throw punches backstage, but we're going to land ours in the ring." Roach's confidence was unwavering. He wasn't intimidated by Tank or the pressure of the upcoming rematch. "The first time didn't faze me," Roach added. "The bright lights didn't bother me. If anything, it made me more determined. This time it's going to be easier. I'm coming for the win in August." Roach wasn't just talking about the fight. He was talking about his journey. This was his chance to prove that he belonged at the top of the lightweight division, and he wasn't going to let anything stand in his way. As the press conference came to a close, the energy in the room was undeniable. The rivalry between Tank and Roach had reached new heights, and the anticipation for the rematch in August was palpable. Both fighters had made their intentions clear. They were coming for the win, and they weren't going to let anything stand in their way. But beyond the words exchanged at the podium, there was an underlying question that still loomed over the fight. Who would walk away victorious? Fans on both sides were eagerly awaiting the next chapter of this epic rivalry, and the excitement was only growing. For Tank, this fight was about redemption. For Roach, it was about proving that he was more than just an underdog. It was about showing the world that he had the skill and heart to compete with the best in the world. With both fighters so determined and focused, it was clear that this would be a rematch for the ages. The stakes were higher than ever, and the public's interest in the fight only grew as the press conference ended. For Tank Davis, it wasn't just about defending his title. It was about proving to the world that he was the best. For Lamont Roach, it wasn't just about redemption. It was about showing that he had what it took to take down one of the best in the business. Both men had something to prove, and the rematch was shaping up to be one of the most exciting and high-stakes boxing events of the year. The rivalry between Tank and Roach was far from over, and the boxing world was waiting with bated breath to see who would come out on top in the end. As the rematch draws closer, the anticipation continues to build. Both fighters know what's at stake, and they're more determined than ever to leave everything in the ring. For Tank, it's about proving that he's the best lightweight in the world. For Roach, it's about redemption and showing that he's more than just a fighter. He's a contender who deserves to be at the top. The rivalry between these two men has been brewing for years, and now it's about to come to a head. With so much on the line, this rematch promises to be one of the most exciting and intense boxing matches in recent memory. The press conference only added fuel to the fire, and the fight in August is now shaping up to be one of the most anticipated events in boxing. Both Tank and Roach have made their intentions clear, and fans are eagerly awaiting the moment when they'll step into the ring once again. With the added pressure of proving themselves to the world, both fighters know that this is their chance to make a statement. No one is backing down, and the stage is set for a showdown that will go down in boxing history. As the rematch approaches, the stakes continue to rise, and the world is watching closely to see who will come out on top. As the days inch closer to the rematch, the pressure on both Tank and Lamont Roach intensifies. Both fighters have their respective reasons for wanting to win, but beneath the surface, there's a deeper drive pushing them forward. For Tank, the feeling of unfinished business looms large. The first fight, which ended in a controversial draw, left more questions than answers. Tank, who entered the ring as the heavy favorite, knew that a victory would not only silence critics, but also prove to himself that he could dominate the lightweight division. The criticism that followed the draw only fueled his determination. He knows the eyes of the boxing world are on him, waiting to see whether he can shake off the doubts that crept in after that lackluster performance. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach is no stranger to adversity. His journey to this point has been filled with challenges, and he's fought through each one with grit and resolve. The first fight against Tank Davis may not have resulted in a victory, but for Roach, it was a sign that he belonged at the top. His confidence has only grown since that fight, and he believes that with the right strategy, he can turn the tables in the rematch. Roach has been vocal about the injustice he felt after the draw, and that frustration has translated into an unwavering determination to prove that he can beat Tank. For him, the rematch is more than just a chance to win a title. It's an opportunity to silence the critics who doubted him and prove that he has what it takes to be a champion. In the build-up to the fight, Tank has been more focused than ever, making it clear that he's determined to come out on top this time. He's been training tirelessly, honing his skills, and adjusting his mindset for the battle ahead. Tank's supporters are eager to see him bounce back from the disappointing draw, and the energy around his camp is palpable. His change in attitude is evident, and he's been speaking with more conviction about his plans for the rematch. The message is simple. He's ready to put on a performance that will leave no doubt in anyone's mind that he's the best in the division. Tank's confidence is sky high, and he's ready to take on Roach with everything he's got. But Lamont Roach isn't backing down. His confidence has only grown since the first fight, and he's been training just as hard to ensure that he's ready for whatever Tank brings. Roach has been vocal about the fact that he believes he can win, and his determination has been evident in everything he's said leading up to the fight. He's not the type of fighter to be intimidated by Tank's reputation or his skills. Roach believes in his own abilities and feels that he can outsmart and outlast Tank in the ring. For Roach, this rematch is about more than just a title. It's about proving to the world that he's not just a challenger, but a legitimate contender who deserves to be at the top of the sport.